Section 4.1, number 5. First, we need to write a multiplicative comparison word problem. And number 2, we need to draw a strip diagram. So again, for homework number 1 and number 2, you didn't have to draw a diagram unless you want to. Again, unless students have trouble, you can help them with that. But for this one, we do have to draw a strip diagram and explain how this section's definition of multiplication applies to solve the problem. So again, we got to use the number of groups and how many in each group to explain why this is a multiplication. Number 3, reword your problem so that it is about the same situation, but you use the fraction in the statement. Okay, so I'm going to do one for 4 times 6. And remember, multiplicative comparison problem also compares two people, two objects, two things. But instead of using more than, like few than, for addition and subtraction problems, we got to use times. So let's say there are 6 ants in Griffin's ant farm, and Tabisha's ant farm has 4 times as many ants as Griffin's. And how many ants are in Tabisha's ant farm? So in this question, notice that I used the words 4 times as many. And so it's better to follow the order because the question says 4 times. So it says 4 times 6. So your question, in order to be consistent, let's start with the number 6 and then say Tabisha's ant farm has 4 times. So instead of saying there are 4 ants in Griffin's and then Tabisha's has 6 times. So we want to try to follow the order here. And technically they're the same thing because we know 4 times 6 equals 6 times 4, but we do want to be consistent with the problem they gave us, so it will be easier for us to explain by definition. Okay, so let's draw a strip diagram. So first we're going to use a strip to represent 6 ants that Griffin has. So just draw any size strip diagram, and you can label 6 in there. Again, you don't have to cut it into 6 parts. You don't have to do that. Just for whole numbers, we just label it. And Tabisha's ant farm has 4 times, which means you have to take this strip, and copy it 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 times. So because that's what 4 times means. And from the drawing, it's very easy to see that we have to do multiplication because we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 groups. Each group has 6 numbers. That's literally 4 groups of 6. By the definition of multiplication, we do 4 times 6. That gives us the total number of ants Tabisha has. So numbers part. I should add a sentence here, which I didn't. I should say there are 6 groups of each group has 6 ants. So we have a total of there are 4 groups. So there are 4. We have a total of 4 times 6 ants, which is 24 ants. 4 times 6 ants. Now part C, reword your problem so that it results in the same situation. So this is kind of similar to compare problems we did in chapter 3. So for example, when you say like A has 4 more something than B, which is the same as saying B has 4 fewer then A. You will be doing exactly the same thing. So in this case, 4 times, what's the other version of similar to what we have more than a few of them? So if Tabisha's ant has 4 times as Griffin's, when we reverse it, Griffin has only 1/3. Griffin's ant farm has only 1/4. I'm sorry, 1/4 as many as Tabisha's, because if just like if I have double what you have, then you have half of what I have. So if I have 4 times what you have, then you have a quarter of what I have. So when we switch these two names, and Tabisha and Griffin, Tabisha and a Griffin, we also have to take the what we call reciprocal in algebra class 401. You have to flip it to 1/4. And so for addition and subtraction, we don't really have to do anything to that number. All we have to do is switch these two people and change the word from more than to fewer than. But for multiplication, we do have to change the number 4 times to 1/4. So that's the, but this problem can also be solved exactly the same way. Because if notice that in the drawing, that oh, I'm sorry, it's not the same problem. So we will have to draw Tabisha's ant farm, very long. It has 24 ants. Griffin's is a quarter of it. Remember, we have to divide it into 4 equal parts. So that's how many Griffin has, which can be solved by doing 24 divided by 4, because there are 4 groups in here. That's the division problem, which we will talk about in chapter 5. So you don't have to worry about how to solve it right now. You just need to give a different version of the problem.